It's your boy Big G, man. Welcome back to the G Report. Today a very special day for me. One of the guys I went to high school with. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my brother.
What's up, everybody? This is Jamil Hill, better known as Mulah, owner, CEO, and branding executive of Mulah $1 Million Cheesecakes.
All right. Well, look, my brother. Me going to high school with you. I ain't think you was gonna be making no cheesecakes. For real, for real. Look, we went to Warren Eastern, you feel me?
Right.
On Canal, 3019 Canal Street, boys, you feel me?
Right.
Yeah, but look, this was the freshest dude in school, and now, mind you, we wore uniforms where all you could wear was black tennis shoes, but he still managed to bend the rules and still come to school fresh. I thought you were gonna be a fashion designer, my brother. Talk to me about that.
Well, actually, like, I had real big plans on being like the next Fubu, the next Curl Kanai, the next Mesquite. But growing up in the hood, like, you know, uptown New Orleans, like, it was kind of hard to see outside the box. You know, it was kind of hard if you wasn't wearing like tees, reeds, and jabots, like, you know, that was the thing, you hear me? Like, that's what you had to be in. So it was kind of hard for me to step outside, you know, my boundaries and of creativity as far as with fashion or whatever. I even tried going to fashion school in Atlanta for like a year, but I was so New Orleans institutionalized, like I couldn't even I couldn't even picture like these dudes like at school like sewing and stuff. So like I ran straight back, like I remember being on the phone like talking to people and they like a DJ, they got a DJ whoop the whoop the one. I'm like getting homesick. Like, and these dudes sewing their heart out, and like 9 years later, like these some of the top leading, you know, fashion like moguls and stuff like that.
Right.
So, you know, that was a learning experience, you know, and it was I'm glad to see that this generation really don't care. Like they have no boundaries. If they want to do something, they gonna do it. They gonna wear pink. They wear stuff I wouldn't even wear. You know, you got Young Thug, you got Future, you got Quavo, you got a few like, you know, ASAP, you got a few like fashion icons or whatever like that. So like, yeah, that really was something I wanted to venture off into, but like this city being this city, it kind of killed that dream.
Right. Yeah, you're right. This city killed a lot of dreams for a lot of people. I love my city. I love New Orleans.
Yeah.
But like watching this documentary on Netflix, and it was talking about how hip hop got started in New Orleans, and it was basically talking about Master P. They wasn't feeling his music at first in New Orleans, so he went other places and they started feeling it. Then they wanted to claim him.
Right. And see, my thing was I ain't want to go other places.
Right.
That was my thing. You know, if I would have had the mindset I had now, I wouldn't have cared. But like at that time, I wanted to hang. I ain't gonna lie. Like I love my city. Like I do. I love my city. And at that time, I was in love with my city, because it's a different from loving your city and being in love with it. Like, you know, like it's a big difference or whatever. You can love your city from afar.
Right.
But when you in love with it, you get intertwined with it and you get entangled with it, and you know, you get to a period where you stuck in it. And sometimes you have to choose, is that good for your career or not? Like if you want to be an actor or a model or something, that's not always good for your career, because you're going to have to venture off into places like New York, California, you know, other places like that. But
Right, I feel that too, you know, because I'm real cool. Shout out to Currency, Spitter. Yeah, he always show love and always stayed home with it, you know. And he gets so much respect in the city, you know, riding his low riders. Don't nobody play with him like that and try him, because he respected, just like you respected.
Right.
So let's get into how you start making cheesecakes, brother.
How I start making cheesecakes. First of all, I worked at Commander's Palace.
Okay.
I was a cook at Commander's Palace, and I was in training to be a sous chef for Commander's Palace. It was a list of things that I had to accomplish before becoming a sous chef. One of those things was working in bakery.
Okay.
It was a very humbling experience, because at first I'm like, man, what y'all got me working in bakery for? You know, I'm like, I'm a whole man. They like, but the reason for them having me to work in bakery was a valid experience. You know, very valid explanation. I rephrase that. They say simply, what if you being a chef, what if everybody walk out? What if your kitchen go on strike?
Right.
As we seeing now, you know, they have strikes every day, protests every day.
Right.
So they was like, what if your whole kitchen just walk out and you gotta run every spot from line to end. What you gonna close your bakery down? Which made sense. So I had to accomplish the task of working in bakery. One of the parts of working in bakery was making cheesecakes.
Okay.
So I started making cheesecakes. I did move on to being a line cook, to being almost a sous chef. I left though. I didn't feel like I was given the respect that I was entitled to. Okay. I left on mildly good terms. You know, I still give, you know, praises to Commander's Palace and Emerald's Del Monaco and places like that. But I left to work at Cheesecake Bistro.
Okay.
Before they closed down.
I got you.
Working at Cheesecake Bistro, I saw the economic side of and the power value of the cheesecake, I'ma say. I saw how much revenue it brought in, and I saw how much our people themselves were spending on frozen cheesecake.
Okay.
So I was like, if they could do this with like frozen cheesecake, I could make my own cheesecake and sell it.
Smart, authentic, not the frozen.
I believe the Black Lives Matter, all this movement was out. Everybody was trying to, you know, blossoming with entrepreneurship.
Right.
A lot of people were cooking. A lot of, you know, friends of mine were cooking and stuff. So I was like, I ain't gonna cook, cause you know I don't want get in nobody's way. People were doing clothes, all type of things. You know, it was like a renaissance in New Orleans.
Okay.
So I chose to do the cheesecakes, mainly to stay out everybody's way.
Gotcha. That lane you have, brother, look, you'll be surprised. I hear about your cheesecakes, like being on different social media platforms, on Twitter and things like that. I hear celebrities like worldwide talking about your cheesecake, brother.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate
like
that.
Real talk.
I really appreciate that.
It's on the level. We need to give our people flowers while they're here, my brother.
Right.
And I'm going to do that now. I'm going to give you flowers while you're here. I'm proud of you, my brother.
I appreciate that, brother. You know me from coming a long way.
Right. I told you. You know where it was at when we was in high school, you know, 14, 15.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't think we was going to be where we at.
I didn't.
Yeah, just to be, look, I'll be 35 in December. Just to be a black man and still be here with everything going on in America. Look, you made it, brother.
Right.
You
Thank
feel
you,
me?
brother. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, so to go on from the cheesecakes, you do a whole lot more than that. The other day, I got lamb chops for me. Look, I'm talking Gordon Ramsay, Top Chef type stuff, dog. Like, for real. Talk about that, the other side of the stuff you do other than cheesecakes.
I cook. I do. I'm going to try to say, I call it, it's more closer to French, Cajun, Creole cuisine. It's a mixture of New Orleans cuisine, like barbecue shrimp.
Right.
Along with, like, French style cooking, like lamb chops. I sear them, and I pair them with a red wine reduction sauce, stuff like that. I use a mirepoix with carrots. You know, it's all type of things from a fancy restaurant that we probably wouldn't even have access with.
Right.
Most of the times those people don't even want us in their restaurants. So I try to do like things like that.
Sorry about that. Look, we keep it real authentic. We out here in the streets of New Orleans, man. Like, it's protests going on down here, and we outside, look, shooting this video, brother. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, like I try to introduce dishes that we may not necessarily have access to any other time. You know, they don't want us coming in any places with headscarves on. So I try to make a comfortable environment. And going into even my long-term goal, I plan to have an atmosphere, you know, that's convenient for us where we don't have to just eat like fried chicken and stuff. Right now for dessert I have cannolis, cheesecake. I brought caviar on a truck at one point, you know, and I try to do those type of dishes, you know, that like we may not have access to any other time, you know. So I do lamb chops, I do everything but steak. And stuff like that. I do a honey citrus salmon. You know, like a lot of different clean and classic dishes. You know, that other cultures may have access to that we don't. Yeah, I appreciate you for that, my brother. Like, real talk. Like, what's next? You had a food truck now. Like, you want to get into your own restaurant? What's next for Mulah? Apparently, right now, the restaurant industry is dead. So, I am what's next. Like, you know, I am what's next. And that's another thing it taught me, never to rush God's path for you. Because I remember at one point I was praying to be on magazine.
Okay.
You know, I was praying for like a little cafe or something on magazine. It didn't happen. It didn't happen for a reason though.
Right.
You know, right now I would be bankrupt. I would be like wondering how I'm gonna pay that highest rent on magazine or whatever like that. So what's next? I plan to just create an atmosphere that's like cool for like our people, like to even have all type of races, like, you know, but have us comfortable and not make a mockery out of us just for money.
Right.
And just for our convenience.
That's respect.
You know, I plan to have a place where, you know, little children are invited and they have like a cheesecake bar where they can run around, because our kids like to run around in restaurants. And, you know, we go into these restaurants where we paying like $500-$600 and our kids are running around and they looking at us like we, you know, monsters or something like that. Like, you know, and stuff like that. So I want to create a restaurant, you know, where it's cool, where Mary J. Blige comes on, you know, everybody not looking like, wow, why are they playing that, you know?
Right.
I want to create a vibe and a place for us to, you know, just chill and eat real dishes, real food. You know, not saying like New Orleans cuisine is not real food, but eat like international things like escargot and things
that
like
boy,
that.
All type of fancy words.
Yeah.
That's what's up, Bill. All right, so words of advice you have for young entrepreneurs that don't want to work a 9-to-5 and have a boss. They want to be their own boss.
Work a 9-to-5. I often hear a lot of children like they don't want to work a 9-to-5. They want to be their own boss. The most boss thing you can do is be a worker.
Okay.
Because if you don't be that worker, you will never appreciate the value of being a boss.
Okay.
I worked at rallies. You know, this cheesecake just didn't happen. I'm still a worker. I still have to stay up nights and make cheesecakes.
Okay.
Like I worked at rallies. I worked at McDonald's. I worked, you know, construction worker. I did rooftops. It was hot. I saw it wasn't for me. You know, but I had to work all these jobs. I worked at numerous restaurants. I had to work, I was a waiter at Applebee's. So I know how it is for good customer service. I know what you have to do to get tips.
Right.
So I feel like in order, my best words for any youth that wants to say, I don't want to work a 9-to-5, you're going wrong already.
Okay.
You're going wrong already, because it won't just fall into your lap. Like there are a few instances where kids are playing on social media and, you know, they get discovered. You could go that route, but I mean, my best advice is get that practice and be that worker to become that boss, because that's the only way you're gonna appreciate when your product is not selling.
Okay.
That's the only, you know, by me working in restaurants, I know they have a slow season. I know when the slow season is in New Orleans. Like, you know, I know when summertime comes, you know, the majority of people don't have a lot of finances because either blacks, they're putting their children in summer school, or they are buying extra food, and whites, they're going out of town on vacations.
Right.
So I know that that's slow season, but I had to work to know this as a boss.
Right.
So that's my advice.
Millie dropping gems. Y'all better take heed to it, man. Yeah, but I know you're a busy man. I know you have things to do. And we will have a part 2 to this where we can actually watch you in action and cooking the food and see the authenticness of Millie Mulah Cheesecake, brother.
I really appreciate that, brother.
I appreciate you, brother. Real talk. Appreciate what you're doing to the community.
Fuck all that. We've been on each other.
Look.
Corona.
All right, man. Much love, man. I'm out.